Hey, this is Adriana,
And Miguel,
and we're going to explain and talk a little about the Vikings army and military strategies and tactics. Vikings were a heroic society. They operated on small bands led by a warrior chief. They were aggressive and brutal at battle because they weren't afraid of death. The best way to die for them was in battle because it meant they could go to Valhalla, and that was their stronger motivation. Vikings attacked unprotected communities that had some sort of richness. They had the benefit of surprise. Their victims never knew when they were coming because of their fast ships. They could roar very quickly, made a quick attack, and turn and sail away again. Vikings were characterized for fighting on foot after calming down their ships. They also operated in warrior bands. In terms of tactics, they didn't have very sophisticated military tactics. They knew how to make shield walls so they could defend themselves by overlapping their shields together. They come with the advantage of speed and surprise, the combination of their ships that could go faster than the enemies and the weaponry with which they marched into army. On their own, they were bound only to the sufficient to guarantee their success.
Vikings share very similar weapons and armors as the Anglo-Saxon. Both sides used a tier system, where the army corps were composed of professional household guard troops, and while the rest of the force was formed of less well-trained and equipped levy or militia. Available equipment weapons included spears, axes, swords, javelin, bows, and others. The most common weapon was the spear, reliable and easy to produce. Consisted in an iron spear head mounted on a long wooden shaft. The variety of spear could be used both over and underhand in the combat. Axes were also common. They required relatively little iron and easy to produce. They were generally one-handed and could be used as frontline weapons or as tools on the campaigns. On the other hand, more expensive versions were adapted for combat, designed for quick blows targeting an opponent rather than long swings at a tree. Swords were far rather and frequently held high status. These weapons were suited to slashing and cutting rather than stabbing. Talking about offensive equipment, the most important was the shield. These were typically circular in shape, and were constructed from planks of wood which were glued together and covered with leather. On top of their common clothing, some Vikings would use a padded line of or wood jacket, and on top of this a lamellar armor. The ones who could afford it would use a metal helmet as well.